Thank you, Mahendra. So we're at the Results Centre and it's just an hour or so to go, less than an hour away until the class of 2018 hears their results. There's been a technical briefing, mainly just to look at the milieu in which these students are writing these exams, what they are preparing for, where we are in terms of education as a country. So let's just give you a taste of what we're looking at tonight, not the results, but a lot of interesting facts around our education system right now. I'm joined by the Director General in the Department of Basic Education, Mathanzima Hubert. Mr. Mweli, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So interesting about progressed learners. Now, I know it's been a few years. South Africa is getting used to this idea of progressed learners, where we take someone who would have in the past been held back in grade 11, push them through to grade 12. People were alarmed, saying, oh, you can't push these people through, they're not ready. You've convinced me that this is a good thing.
Well, we've learned from the best in the world. Automatic progression is what most countries believe in the world. The onus is on the system to make sure that learners are supported. Every learner has got the potential to succeed if well supported. I mean, countries like Denmark, Finland, UK practice automatic progression. It's only South Africa and a few countries that are very punitive in our system. We punish the learner, and the research has shown that the longer you retain learners, the poorer they perform. So the best thing is to set the minimum requirements, allow them to proceed, put strong learner support programs in place. It's beginning to pay off.
Not only that, you were hinting that some of these learners tonight or tomorrow when they open the papers may receive distinctions in things like maths, accountancy, the hard subjects.
Absolutely. Physical science, which is one of those subjects that are deemed to be very difficult. They've gotten about distinctions there. Mathematics and accounting, as you said. I mean, if learners receive proper support, as I said, every learner has the potential to succeed.
It sounds like you as a national department, correct me if I'm wrong, are trying to put pressure on the provinces to focus on those progressed learners, because that'll now affect the overall pass rate.
Not only that, we work with them and show them how to get it done. And I mean, we go out to provinces as teams for exam, teams for curriculum. The minister would also go out to provinces and deputy minister to look at what they are doing. We track learner performance on a quarterly basis, looking at the shift, whether the needle is moving towards making sure that learners progress in numbers.
Now, many South Africans are watching these results. They may not have kids in matric or be in matric, but there's an overall concern about education in this country, that we are spending so much, the lion's share of the budget, and then things come out and we read that we're the bottom of the class, according to those TIMS examinations or checking in of the standards. Tell me what you were saying about those.
Well, what people miss is that in the world you've got over 210 countries. Now in teams you only had 48 countries that participated there. South Africa is among the few bold countries that are ready to participate. The overwhelming majority of countries do not participate in these studies for fear of embarrassing themselves. But we have the courage. You know, it's like people who participate in a marathon. The one who comes last is not the last in the country or the last in the world. It's the last of those who are fit to run the marathon.
Explain more. I think you said 40 countries, only 3 African countries, like you say, had the courage to take part in these.
Absolutely 48, to be precise.
48.
48 out of 210. So people who would say that we are at the bottom of everybody in the world, those are not the facts.
It's still not great. So are we not making excuses here?
Well, in the same study of 2015, the study indicated that South Africa made the biggest improvement of all participating countries in teams. Where can you get that? You can only get it when you participate, garner the courage, prepare the system, support learners. We'll get there. The minister likes saying, we are a cat competing with tigers. And we are not afraid to compete with tigers. We might be at the bottom today, tomorrow we'll be in the middle. You know, I always say in education, we don't have a drive-through like in Kentucky or McDonald's. You move and shift things gradually, but you're getting there.
Some other interesting things that you said, that we may have to import chartered accountants because there's a huge drop-off in students doing accountancy and business science. What's happening there?
Well, my own discovery, you know, was shocked to come across this. When I visited provinces and districts, I asked them, why do we have such a huge reduction in accounting and business studies in particular, 11,000? Do you have a teaching problem? Don't we have teachers? They said, no. Actually, we've got teachers who are qualified in this subject who are not fully occupied. I said, what's the problem? They said, over the years, historically, the performance has not been that good. But this year, accounting improved by 6%. Of course, business studies went down a little bit. I hope that the improvement in the performance of accounting will encourage more and more learners and parents.
So learners are scared to do accountancy. They're scared they won't be able to perform well.
Yes, that's the impression that I got.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the response that I even got from district officials, school principals that we met with.
If you look at the overall standards, you've spoken about the fact that the bachelor passes came down because we moved to a more universal standard. That was a few years ago. Everybody's trying to gauge whether standards are getting better or going down in South Africa. Just tell me what you were saying about universities of South Africa that look at the exams and are actually quite happy with the quality of those exams.
Well, our examination panels are raising the bar every year. I mean, for instance, this year in an agricultural science paper, you had something on listeriosis. You know, how to deal with challenges that are related to, you know, something that is like listeriosis. It's contemporary. It's something that happened early this year, you know, late last year and so on. Our question papers are about dealing with daily contextual problems, contemporary problems. But the other issue is that we benchmark our question papers with the best assessment bodies in the world. We even benchmark with Kenya, which is one of the best in Africa. We benchmark with assessment bodies in the UK, Wales, and so on. We also give our question papers to USAF, the body that represents all 25 universities in South Africa, to look at the question papers for the 10 key subjects and give us responses. So
South African exams are world-class, is that what you're saying?
They are world-class. The system is world-class. The question papers
the curriculum you've said is world-class.
One of the best in the world.
So where are we falling down?
Well, we're dealing with the major area, which is teaching. Remember that our teachers were trained to teach in a particular way, and to re-socialize the entire teaching workforce will take a while. The research indicates that new people who are entering the teaching profession seem to demonstrate better subject knowledge, but they are lacking in teaching methodology, which is pedagogy. So we need to fix the two. You see, what we missed is what Zimbabwe got right. In Zimbabwe, they didn't discontinue their teaching training colleges, but they linked them to universities. Universities benefit from teacher training colleges in terms of teaching methodology, and colleges also benefit from universities in terms of subject content knowledge. That's the direction we are moving to in South Africa.
Well, tell me more. Why are teachers substandard? Why are the colleges, the universities, not gearing them for what they need to do? Where are the gaps? What are the practical solutions? Well,
80% of the teachers that we have are teachers that were trained by the apartheid government. You know, in training or in education, even if you get to be socialized differently, the likelihood is that you would want to fall back to your crutches, what you got introduced to before. So it's going to take time. I think you would have seen from the data that I presented that we are now getting teachers who are younger than 30 years into the system, and that gives us hope. If you have better subject content knowledge, there's hope for this country.
And what is the quality of those teachers coming through the system right now?
As I said, subject content knowledge is tops. It's what we need for skills in a changing world.
So the world is changing. You're talking about South Africa trying to tune in with not only the 4th Industrial Revolution, the 5th Industrial Revolution, which I haven't heard too much about, but it sounds like things like emotional intelligence, creativity, all those things becoming ever more important.
Well, those are called core skills, which we need for the future. And as I said, the Brookings institution, which is one of the leading think tank in the world, says we have them in our curriculum. All that we need is to re-socialize our teachers to be able to pull them out of the curriculum and get them reflected in the competencies and knowledge of the learners who go out.
So you need a young teacher who understands creativity in order to be able to pass that on. Exactly. Critical thinking. You can't just learn by the book anymore.
Absolutely.
Another controversy has been about the sort of easy subjects, technical maths, I think it's called. You were saying that's actually quite difficult.
Technical maths is applied mathematics. I mean, professors from universities, we met with some of them at Umalusi in the Assessment and Standards Committee. They confirmed that technical mathematics is not an easier form of mathematics. It's even
Wasn't
more
the whole
difficult.
rationale to help students who couldn't do normal maths and they had technical maths as an easier option?
We were woefully aware.
Correct my perceptions.
We
if
were
they're wrong.
woefully aware of the cognitive rigor of the technical maths, but we needed mathematics that can support technical subjects. And this mathematics is geared to do exactly that. It's not an easier form of mathematics.
We have 12 more subjects this year. Just tell us about the changes in the curriculum and the breadth of the curriculum.
That is the uniqueness of the class of 2018. They had 12 new subjects.
And a lot of those technical subjects.
Yes. I mean, technical maths, it's one of those. Technical science, and then you had 3 areas of specialization in the 3 technologies: mechanical, electrical, and civil. 3 for each. I mean, electronics, digital system, it's something new. I mean, universities have diversified even their offerings. You've got students who are now specializing in data. Now our schooling system will build that foundation to feed into what universities require.
All right, so this is a positive picture. You're basically saying we shouldn't be down in the doldrums about South African education. The Minister will speak in about half an hour. What should we listen out for to assess our education system right now? Sort of those bachelor passes or the basic passes. Just run us through the important indicators.
Well, we've turned the corner. As I've said, the National Development Plan has set a goal of 80% in terms of our overall pass rate. It said we must move to 80%. Countries like Japan are at 93%, so we must move towards that. I'm cautiously optimistic that we should be getting close to 80%. We're going to see very interesting shifts from the announcement of the minister. And I said to some of the people, there are interesting movements. There's movement from the bottom, there's movement in the middle, there's movement from the top. Those who move from the top up, they meet others coming down. The reason is because some of the provinces have improved much more than others, and therefore they are able to overtake others. So there are very interesting shifts. I'm looking forward to the announcement by the minister.
All right, thank you so much. Director General of the Department of Basic Education, Mathanzima Mweli, and he's hinting there that there could be some very good news when the Minister of Basic Education announces the 2018 matric results in half an hour. We'll bring that briefing to you live on various platforms. Back to studio.
Thank you very much indeed, Francis Hurd. We're all keeping our fingers crossed.